just seeing pictures of the ambulances that are taking the boys that have been taken out of the cave today on their way.
All 13 wild boars are out. วันนี้เราเห็นหน้าหมูป่าแล้วนะครับ
Tucked away in the mountains of northern Thailand, in a province called Chiang Rai, is the sleepy town of Mae Sai. But for 2 weeks, international attention has been focused on a crisis that has gripped the world.
How many of you? 13. Brilliant.
After training, 12 boys and their football coach set out to explore a 10-kilometer cave complex. But they were trapped by rising water levels, flooding the cave chambers. Surrounded by floodwaters, there was no escape. Time was running out, and the group faced certain death. Once the missing group was located, a rescue mission was launched. The event attracted international attention, and thousands of journalists descended on Mae Sai. Meanwhile, rescue teams planned the safest route to extract all 13 individuals out of the cave. But with the monsoon season fast approaching, the clock was ticking. When I first arrived in Chiang Rai, the boys had been trapped in the cave for 12 days. Before they were found, they survived by drinking water from the cave's icicle-like formations. Channel NewsAsia's Thai correspondent Saksit Soyasombayut has been at the front line of this rescue mission.
Were you surprised when you heard the news that they were found, and it'd been that many days they were on their own?
Indeed, I mean we're in there with just a little food, little oxygen, little everything, and it's been a miracle. I mean, I think very few people actually thought they would be found alive.
So what do you think kept them going?
They're a team. They're a football team. They stick together.
Is that something that's quite unique to the Thai culture? I mean, you're Thai yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
there are many aspects to this whole story that is very Thai. The football team here in northern Chiang Rai, in the rural areas, to all the volunteers, everybody trying to pitch in and help somehow.
Yeah.
When you saw the videos of the divers when they reached them and how they reacted, you know, they were not jumping up in joy and saying "Hooray, we are safe," and also how very calm and also how friendly they are. I think that was something that really surprised a lot of people. I think, you know, normally you would think that these kids would be jumping around in joy having been found and rescued.
The boys were trapped in one of the longest and most complex cave systems in Thailand, known as the Tham Luang cave. It's part of a mountain range in the northern Thai highlands. I've come to another cave complex that is very close to the rescue site.
Coming in, I was scared. I didn't know where I was going, what lay ahead of me, and if you're unfamiliar with the cave, it's very easy to get lost. Now imagine if all of that happened and it was actually like this. Not just for 1 or 2 days, but for days on end. How would you feel?
The team's survival in the flooded cave has become a tale of courage and hope. So, who are the boys at the heart of this nail-biting story? And how did they remain so resilient throughout this ordeal? This is the home of 16-year-old Pirapat Sompyangjai, otherwise known as Knight. His love of sport is evident. On the floor are unopened presents from a birthday party that he never had.
เราเตรียมอาหารการกินพร้อมไม่หมดที่จะกินเลี้ยงวันเกิดพอดี1 ทุ่ม 2 ทุ่มก็ไม่มา
Knight's grandfather lives in the same house and speaks fondly of him.
What kind of a boy is Knight?
นิสัยดีนิสัยดีล่าเริงแล้วก็ชอบซ้อมบอล
How did you feel when you heard he was missing?
เราก็ไม่รู้ว่านายจะเข้าถ้ำรู้สึกก็ตกใจอ่ะ
June 23rd, Knight and his football team went with their coach into Tham Luang cave. It was meant to be a 5-hour trek, but heavy rains flooded the chambers, blocked their exit, and forced the team deeper inside. June 25th, despite torrential rain, Thai Navy SEALs started their search in the dark of the night. June 27th, rescue teams from the UK and the US joined the search, and a day later, pipes were used to pump water out of the cave. By June 30th, China and Australia joined in the international rescue. And on July 2nd, divers from the UK finally locate the group. By then, the boys and their coach had been forced 4 kilometers away from the cave's main entrance. I'm visiting the house of 14-year-old Prachuk Sutam, otherwise known as Not. His 66-year-old grandmother has been overwhelmed by the crisis. I show her the message that Not had sent out while still trapped in the cave.
รักพ่อรักแม่และรักทุกคนดีใจที่สุดในโลกที่ได้อ่านเนี่ยยายก็กอดแล้วก็บอกว่ายายดีใจที่สุดในโลกและรักโน้ตที่สุดในโลกหากไม่มีเขายายก็คงอยู่ไม่ได้
Not's grandmother has helped raise him since birth.
แต่ตอนเย็นมากินข้าวยายก็จัดอะไรไว้ให้เขากินข้าวอาบน้ำอ่านการบ้านแล้วก็นอนแล้วก็เขาจะอยู่กันจับกลุ่มไว้ที่เฉพาะเล่นบอลพยายามฝึกตั้งแต่นี้ไปจนเล็กเขาคิดว่าเขาจบม.ปลายเขาอยากเป็นนักบอลของอยู่เชียงรายยูไนเต็ด
Has he become a better kid ever since he joined this group?
สดใสแต่ว่าดำแดดเท่านั้นเขากับโค้ชฝึกหนักฝึกทั้งสมาธิแล้วก็พวกโค้ชเขานี่เรียนบทเรียนมามากแล้วก็มีสมาธิมากยายก็ไม่ทราบว่าอะไรมันที่โดนใจผักไม่โทษใครสักคนน้ำป่ามันมากระทันหันนะแล้วประจวบเหมาะก็มันไม่ใช่ฤดูที่เขาจะเข้าไปกัน
So what prompted the team to enter a deep cave in the midst of the monsoon season?
Is this the first time they've gone to the cave?
No, not first time.
8. Twelve boys and their coach were trapped in Tham Luang Cave in northern Thailand. At 10 kilometers long, it's one of the country's longest and toughest caves to navigate. With a system of narrow corridors and deep chambers, and once flooded with water, it became a death trap. The 12 boys from northern Thailand have become internationally famous. With barely any provisions, they survived for 2 weeks in a flooded cave, waiting for a rescue mission that captivated the world. The divers faced many challenges entering the cave system.
Be careful, okay?
They had to navigate against strong currents, and any sign of heavy rain stopped operations. Oxygen was decreasing to dangerous levels in the cave, meaning time was of the essence. The mission was not without great costs. It claimed the life of former Thai Navy SEAL Samangunan, who blacked out coming out of the cave due to a lack of oxygen.
What day?
This is the voice of 14-year-old Adu Samon. He communicated with British divers when the boys were first discovered. Abdul Samon has been studying at this school since he was 7 years old.
You can see that he's won many trophies, he's been involved in many other activities. So this area here was set up to show their support for their student, but not just for Adun, but also for the entire team.
I discovered the boys don't belong to one single school. They are a disparate group, united by their love of football.
Do you know any of the boys trapped in the cave? From your school? 6 of them. Do you know which one? Dom. Oh, Dom. Kong. Mik. But the stick is for what?
14-year-old Song Paul is a teammate of the boys. Song Paul was playing football with them on that fateful day, but he didn't go on the cave trip.
When you found out that they were inside the cave, how did you feel?
It's shocked.
Yeah?
Really worried.
But is this the first time they've gone to the cave?
No, it's not first time.
Oh, they've gone before.
Yes.
Many times?
4 or 5 times.
What do they do when they are there?
I'm not sure. They go to went to a travel.
So tell me, what is Dom like?
เป็นคนแบบตลก
What about Mick?
มิกชอบแบบมิกก็แบบเป็นคนร่าเริงคนหนึ่งในทีมนะคงเป็นคนแบบกวนๆฮาๆรถชอบแบบขยันเรียนรับผิดชอบงาน
In the group, is there one person who normally like a bit of a leader, you know, decide where to go, what to do?
ก็ถ้าก็เป็นโค้ชเอกครับโค้ชก็แบบดูแลพวกเราตอนแบบซ้อมให้พวกเราแบบให้พวกผมแบบโค้ชเอกเป็นคนแชร์สาระให้พวกผมแล้วรักพวกผมแล้วพวกผมก็รักโค้ชคือเช่นแบบตอนแข่งบอลตอนพักครึ่งแบบโค้ชก็จะให้พวกเราดื่มน้ำก่อนแล้วโค้ชก็จะดื่มทีหลังนะบางครั้งมีคนเจ็บในสนามโค้ชก็จะเข้าไปช่วยประคองออกนอกสนาม
Why do you think they've managed to survive so long?
ผมเชื่อว่าพวกเขาต้องรอดเพราะผมเชื่อว่าโค้ชสามารถดูแลทุกคนได้สามารถควบคุมทุกคนทั้ง12 คนได้ที่อยู่ในถ้ำ
25-year-old Ekapo Chantawong has faced criticism for taking his football team into the cave. But he has also been singled out as a hero and the reason for keeping the boys' spirits up throughout this ordeal. Before he was an assistant coach, he trained as a Buddhist monk for over a decade. Reports have said that it was probably his meditation skills that helped keep the boys calm under such great pressure. Mupa or Wild Boar Academy is a regional football club which the 12 boys belong to. It was set up 3 years ago to compete in provincial tournaments. The football team trains every day after class. But these sessions were put on hold ever since the boys went missing. I want to find out more about the Wild Boars, so I've tracked down one of their coaches.
ก็เขามีใจรักมีใจรักที่เล่นฟุตบอลเราก็รับที่จะมาซ้อมมาเล่นกับเราครับมาซ้อมกับเราแค่นี้ครับคือของเรานี่ก็เป็นจิตอาสาที่ไม่รับเงินจากเด็กเลยนะครับ
25-year-old Panawit Jongkam is one of the new coaches to the Wild Boar Academy, and he trains the 19 and under squad.
ก็พยายามผลักดันนะครับให้เด็กๆได้เล่นบอลอาชีพครับส่วนปีที่แล้วก็มีสุโขทัยนะครับไปอยู่สุโขทัยคนหนึ่งครับ
When you're teaching the students here, what is the most important thing to you?
ก็สิ่งสำคัญที่สุดนะครับก็คือการมีน้ำใจนักกีฬาครับมีวินัยในการเล่นกีฬาครับ
So are you surprised that the boys in the cave, managed to survive after so many days?
เพราะการฝึกซ้อมของเรานะครับเด็กๆได้ตั้งใจฝึกซ้อมได้มาซ้อมอย่างสม่ำเสมอตลอดไปครับทำให้ร่างกายแข็งแรงครับ
It's this discipline that the family of Mongkun Bunpiam, or Mark, want for him. Mark was one of the 12 boys trapped in the cave, and academically he isn't strong. So he's pinning his hopes on becoming a professional soccer player.
When he was very young, very small, was he already playing football?
เขาชอบฟุตบอลมากกว่าเขาเรียนนี่อันดับปานกลางเขาหวังนี้เขาเรียนไม่เก่งแต่ผมขอเล่นฟุตบอลเขาบอกอย่างนี้เขาบอกกับแม่เขานี้แม่เขาก็ถ้าเขาออกมาก็ดีใจแล้วก็จะสอนให้เขาว่าเป็นเด็กดีแล้วก็ขอให้เขาเรียนหนังสือแล้วก็เขาชอบฟุตบอลก็ให้เขาทำไปอย่างนี้มันประสบการณ์มันมีหลายอย่างใช่ไหมอย่างนี้
Yutan is Mark's aunt, and she has been keeping watch over the family home.
Was your sister very worried when she called you?
เขาก็เป็นห่วงอ่ะตอนที่รู้เรื่องว่าลูกเขาพาแล้วนั่นก็เป็นลมไปตรงนั้นแหละที่หน้าถ้ำนั้นแหละแล้วก็มาก็เป็นทั้งวันวัน 3-4 ครั้งมันเป็นเขาก็อ่อนแอเขาก็ไม่กินน้ำก็ไม่กินนอนก็ไม่นอนเลยทั้งคืนถ้าเข้ามานะเรามาด้วยเขาป้ามากับเขาเนี่ยเข้าไปในห้องแล้วก็ดูโทรศัพท์แล้วก็ร้องไห้เลยลูกกลับมาเธอแม่ใจจะขาดแล้วก็ร้องไห้เลยมันไม่ให้เราเห็นไม่ให้ป้าเห็นเขาร้องไห้นั่นแหละ
Coming up, how did the 12 boys get out?
วันนี้ความพร้อมถึงพีคสุดแล้ววันที่เราปฏิบัติการดีเดย์
Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Heavy rains from the previous night put rescue operations into overdrive. I planned to visit the Tham Luang cave site, but was told journalists have been asked to leave.
So we've just arrived here at the relocated press center. They kicked everyone out from the cave side. We don't know why, but everyone is now gathered here, and as you can see, all the cameras are trained on this spot because a press briefing is supposed to occur pretty soon.
By 10 a.m., rumors swirled that something imminent was coming.
Hard to tell, a lot of different stuff, but there's been one report from a Bangkok Post reporter, unconfirmed still, that 4 of the first kids are on their way out. The rescue attempt is going to start, I believe, today.
That's the best news I've heard in a long time.
And then, confirmation the world had been waiting for.
วันนี้ความพร้อมถึงพีคสุดแล้ววันที่เราปฏิบัติการดีเดย์
Rescue operations had begun. The boys faced the daunting task of escaping the cave by diving through murky flood waters and strong currents. 2 Navy divers accompanied each boy, with one of them carrying the boy's air tank. They had to navigate through tight crevices and remove their oxygen tanks to pass through a very narrow chamber. The boys then walked 2 kilometers to the cave entrance before finally being evacuated.
Based on what we know so far, it would take about 5 hours for SEAL divers to get in and 6 hours to come out. But we've also been told that more water has been pumped out from the cave, so there are parts of the cave where the boys can actually walk now. So it could be a little faster. But again, no new information coming to us. They say the earliest will be 9 p.m. this evening.
By Sunday night, all eyes were glued on images of the first boys to leave the cave.
Four out of 13 boys have been taken out of the Tham Luang cave here in the northern part of
and
Chiang
they
Rai.
remain in a hospital in Chiang Rai city. Their identities have not all been revealed, but each
In the initial leg of the rescue operation, 4 were evacuated.
ทั้งพ่อแม่เด็กอะไรก็ทุกคนก็มีความปลื้มใจดีใจทุกคนที่เด็กได้ออกมาวันนี้คือปลอดภัยทั้ง13ชีวิต
ก็รู้สึกดีใจอะครับก็ปลื้มอะครับรู้สึกปลื้มว่าหน่วยงานทุกหน่วยงานช่วยกันนะครับรู้สึกปลาบปลื้มอะครับ
The next morning, I head back to Mark's home. At this point, identities of the rescued boys hadn't been released. But I was thrilled to learn from Mark's aunt that one of the first boys out was her nephew.
Did you speak to your sister?
ก็คุยอยู่
ลูกกับแม่ยังไม่ได้เจอหน้ากันลูกอยู่โรงพยาบาลอยู่แม่ก็อยู่ที่ถ้ำเขาไม่ได้เจอกัน
ตอนนี้เขายังไม่รู้เรื่องอะไรแม่เขาต้องรออยู่ที่นู่นแล้วก็เด็กออกมาให้หมดก่อนเดี๋ยวก็แม่ก็ทำไปทีหลังเนี่ย
How do you feel now that Mark is out?
ก็ดีใจมากเลยแหละ เพราะว่าเมื่อคืนก็ร้องไห้ดีใจ
By Tuesday night, all boys and their coach had been rescued.
All 13 wild boars are out. They have been all accounted for. All 12, including their football coach, they are all coming home.
16 วันแห่งการรอคอยนะครับวันนี้เราเห็นหน้าหมูป่าแล้วนะครับ
Now focus has shifted to their health, with the group being treated at the hospital.
I've come to see a side of the Thai culture, one that sees them coming together in times of adversity. I may not have had a chance to meet the boys, but speaking to their friends, to their relatives, you really get a sense that soccer is the one thing that has brought them together. And this teamwork, this bonding, is really what kept them going all this time. When I first got here, it seemed like a crisis, but leaving, it sure feels like a celebration.